All right, guys, welcome in, welcome back. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Are you kidding me? They're already putting a commercial on here. I don't doubt it one bit, man. I have no control over that stuff. Usually they demonetize it as soon as I upload the thumbnail, or they overstock it and buffer it and try to make it so hard nobody can listen to it. Anyway, guys, welcome in. Tonight's the 16-day forecast. Audio is good. We're ready to roll. Now, I had this all queued up to see the fires going on, so I guess we'll have to come back to this because apparently it quit loading. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. Try to get the stream to work right. So check this out. Before we get into the 16-day forecast, we got to get into the real weather stuff, the real information about the weather. In order to understand the weather forecast, you got to know what's really going on, because if you're listening to the Weather Channel or your local meteorologist, you have to know that they're all just little actors, and they get their little scripts and they read the little scripts and they push out the little agendas. They never tell the truth. They never admit to anything. If you talk about contrails or chemtrails, they just delete your comment or mock you. Well, we show proof every night that they are completely lying. Anyway, this just come out today. Do airplane contrails add to climate change? The answer is yes, and the problem is about to get worse. New research suggests that the global warming effect will triple by 2050 as air travel increases. So right off the bat, down in this article, it tells about how some contrails dissipate and some turn into cirrus clouds. And this picture here is a Royal Dutch Airlines Boeing 747 jetliner flying high over Las Vegas, February 27, 2019. And of course, they're going to come in here with the conspiracy theorists. They always got to throw that in there when it's fact. The conspiracy is the people lying about the aircraft trails. So despite the conspiracy theories about these so-called chemtrails, right off the bat, man, to make a contrail, it takes a chemical reaction. So they are chemtrails. There's no evidence that the white flumes seen traveling from high-flying airplanes are part of a secret government program to spray toxic chemicals into the atmosphere for mass sterilization or mind control. See, they got to make it sound just total insane stuff. Well, not really insane, but they want to make it so far-fetched that nobody will believe in a contrail. And I got some articles up to prove that the government does spray us with all kinds of chemicals. I mean, it's a complete lie. But contrails do pose a threat. Scientists say they contribute to climate change by trapping heat that radiate upwards to the Earth's surface. A new study published in the journal Atmospheric Chemistry and Physics suggests that the global warming effect will triple by 2050 as air travel grows in popularity and new technology enables planes to reach higher cruising altitudes where contrails tend to form. They form at all altitudes because most of them are spraying. So I'm not going to go through this whole article, but there is a few things on here. The warming effect from contrails already represented the largest contributor to aviation's climate impact, when aviation accounted for 5% of the human impact on climate. Them numbers aren't right. They know way more than what they're revealing on this thing. So let's see what they say here. The icy flumes from water vapor in the air gathers and condenses on soot particles. That's the chemtrails. That's the nanobots. That's the heavy metals. in aircraft. That's the sulfur in aircraft engine exhaust, but they tend to only form at high altitudes. BS. 5 miles or higher. Nope, I've seen them spraying on the ground on the runway. Complete lie. Temperatures of minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit are common. Another lie. All temperatures. Airplane traffic, of course, plays a role in the impact of contrails. North America and Europe had the most commercial flights, so contrails are the most common. They're not just there. They're over China, India, Mongolia, over the desert. They're everywhere. So that's all a complete lie. Flights close to the polar regions tend to produce only thin, hazy contrails because of the dry air lacks significant moisture. Another lie. They spray all over the place up there, just like they do over the United States, just like they do over France, just like they do over the Europe. It's all a lie. Here we go. Many contrails last a few minutes before the frozen water turns into vapor and flumes dissipate. Others persist in the atmosphere for more than 10 minutes, and some spread out into become as cirrus clouds. How about most of these contrails turn into a weather system? Complete lies. So they're still going to keep on pushing this agenda. All these links are in the description. You know, they talk about us being the biggest polluters when we know that the U.S. military is the biggest polluter, and they're more of a polluter than 140 countries put together. So the U.S. military's carbon blueprint is enormous. Like corporate supply chains, it relies on extensive global network of container ships, you know, the bunker fuel. They have tons and tons of aircraft in the sky at any given moment. The U.S. military fuel uses alone would make 47th largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world. 2017, the U.S. military bought 269,230 barrels of oil a day, emitted more than 25 kilotons of carbon dioxide by burning those fuels. $4.9 billion worth of fuel. But yet, they want to blame it on our cars. And just like the luxury ocean liners you go take the 7-day trips on, they put out 1 million cars a day worth of emissions. But yet, they still want to blame it on us. Also, the U.S. military is the world's largest polluter. Hundreds of bases gravely contaminated. Hazardous waste. The 5 largest U.S. chemical companies combined. So the U.S. Department of Defense have left its toxic legacy throughout the world in the form of depleted uranium, oil, jet fuel, pesticides, defoliants like Ancient Orange, lead, and other pollutants. You still think they're looking out for us? And I'm not talking about the men and women that try to protect us. I'm talking about the higher ups, the ones that know what they're actually doing, not the ones following no other. Well, get this here. Scientists urge the UN to make environmental destruction a war crime. Now, this will be big. This pretty much will just say the UN wants to go to war with the United States or anybody doing weather engineering. From the U.S. dropping the herbicide Ancient Orange on the jungles in Vietnam to Saddam Hussein's damming marshes in Iraq, they involved intentional infliction of wounds on both the ecosystem and populations. Certain acts of violence against people are considered intolerable. A group of researchers has asked to set a harm's agent against the environmental designated as war crimes. So all these links, if you want to come in here and read all this stuff. So they're going to try to convince the UN to take action against anybody spraying herbicides, chemtrails, when they're doing it, when they're the ones doing it. They're the ones pushing this insane climate change, global warming hoax. Now we're getting climate change references are disappearing from the U.S. government websites. I didn't really read this, but I'll have the link in the description. Trying to get through all this stuff. Now, for the people that, trust your government, according to the Army records, thousands of innocent Americans were subjected to poisonous chemicals through open air spraying, ingestion, and injection. Sorry about that. So now we have a congressman exposing secret Army program of spraying radioactive chemicals over U.S. cities. Now, I've covered this several times. I mean, they've done tons of spraying operations on us. A lot of people know about these here. And I'm trying to get here. So, Democratic Congresswoman Lacey Clay of Missouri, Brad Sherman of California, and Jen Cooper of Tennessee all represent the area where Army records revealed that the U.S. government conducted secret testing of zinc cadmium sulfide that included radioactive materials on vulnerable poor populations. The radioactive materials and tests on vulnerable populations without consent happened in St. Louis. I've covered this several times. You also have a fire underground in St. Louis that's been burning for years and years, that's headed for a nuclear dump site. I mean, it's only a matter of time before this fire hits the dump site. Now, since they sprayed this, I showed back in several videos where they showed they were spraying these chemicals off the corner of buildings, out of the backs of the station wagons, out of planes, out of helicopters. It was just a horrible experiment. You had people suffering from thyroid, skin, and uterine cancers, breast cancers, all kinds of different cancers. I mean, it's crazy. And there was other tests. Over and over again, the military has conducted dangerous warfare experiments on Americans. We just talked about the ticks, the Lyme disease that they created and released on the American people. On September 20, 1950, a U.S. Navy ship just off the coast of San Francisco used a giant hose to spray a cloud of microbes into the air, into the city's famous fog. The military was testing how a biological weapon attack would affect 800,000 residents of the city. The San Francisco people had no idea they did this to them. Thanks out there, Fred. Much love. The Navy continued the test for 7 days. I mean, we talked about this the other day. It went on for the germ warfare testing program. It went on for 20 years. So to think that your government has stopped doing tests on us, you better think again. You look at the Zika virus, you look at the Ebolas and all these different, these are all bioweapons. These are the flu. That is another one. Now I just seen Hodgepodge sent me this. This is an older weather modification pilot program out of Wyoming. We showed the one in Idaho the other day. But look, man, there is all kinds of weather modification programs out here. You can really dig. You got to dig hard, but you can find, I mean, we got quite a few years of documented UN recognized cloud seeding and weather modification operations. But here's another one from 2014. Here's the one we just went over in Idaho where they're creating the snow. They're harvesting the storms. So they're using ground-based towers and shooting flares. And then they're also using aircraft to coax the winter storm to produce more snow. This is going on in every single state. While that's going on, you got this place here, the Energy Factor. Guess what they're called? The company is called Global Thermostat. You hear me talking about they already have their hands on the knob of the thermostat. Now this company is actually called the Global Thermostat. And what they're wanting to do is vacuum the CO2 straight out of the air. Isn't that what makes the plants grow? It's just crazy what these madmen are doing. Oh yeah, and it's Exxon Mobil. They're one of the biggest polluters too. I'll dig into some of this technology that they're doing, and I'll get a little more involved on that one. We have air quality unhealthy level measuring at some of the worst in the nation. We got, this is in Redding, California, man. They keep hitting the same places over and over. Smoke from the wildfires in southern Oregon continue to settle in Redding from the winds pushing the smoke to the North State. As of Sunday, Redding is now recording some of the worst air quality in the nation at 152 on the air quality index. People with heart and lung disease, older adults and children should avoid prolonged or heavy exertion. The other thing they're not mentioning is all the Saharan dust into the air, all the fires that are being blown over from Russia, all the fires being blown over from Alaska and Canada is also mixing with the air. Down in Australia, they're calling it the 1 in 120 year super drought. How did we get here? How did it get so bad? These were just some of the questions tackled in a recent webinar hosted by the Bureau of Meteorology. Now, I haven't listened to this, but the climate experts laying on the table painting a dire state of affairs. Large parts of Australia are just in a severe drought. They're in the most severe drought ever recorded. Why are they not calling David Miles? Look, they modify their weather. Look at the chemtrails in the background. In fact, they know they can end this drought. Look, hey, David Miles lives down here. He's ended the drought in the Horn of Africa. He put the fires out in Tasmania. We're going to get this guy on the show, even though he's a weather engineer. We're going to get him on the show, and we're going to find out and show that he does weather modification, and it works. So let's just look at some of his recent tweets. Last year, Miles' research demonstrated on a target in Wimmera rainfall. Here, let's play his little thing here. Let's look at this. So on May 1st, 2019, a success-based contract was executed by the, I couldn't read it that fast. So these people here wanted to pay for some rain. So the targets were agreed to, and he made it rain. So you had 8 bureaus. Let's see his rainfall amounts here. It's kind of hard to see. So he gave them soaking rainfall events that were recorded during the 61-day engagement. So he did some drought relief by simply overlaying the Bureau's rainfall anomaly data. he was able to show that he made it rain and all that stuff. What else has he got going here? He also exposes the ship tracks, because that's like competition when you're doing weather modification. He knows what this bunker fuel's doing out here. He actually controls the weather. So he knocks the chemtrails and the ship tracks, because he thinks his weather moderation is not spraying chemicals up into the sky, but it's still modifying the weather. He already said he could protect Australia from drought for $100 million. It's always about the money. But when you have that kind of technology, you know, they want to get he wants to get paid for it. So yeah, we'll talk to him. I know the government, he's done tests here in the United States. He did it in Texas in 2012. The FBI or the alphabet agencies bugged the NextRad site he was using and installed a bunch of cameras and probably stole his technology. That's just assuming here. If you want to know what's going on with the fires up in Australia or Alaska, here's a link. I just went ahead and put this link down into the description if you want to find out about the fires. So we had I-70 shut down after a mudslide. So this is expected. This actually happened 2 days ago. Out of Colorado, crews continued to clean up along the interstate I-70 after a mudslide shut down the highway in both directions during rush hour on Friday afternoon. So I guess it was back open by Saturday. So I don't know if this was some kind of a rain event or a earthquake event. I just don't know. I didn't get to read into all that. I'm trying to get to where we're to the maps. A dirty little secret: your organic strawberries aren't really organic. Well, we know that. You know, when they put out the Labeling Act, that wasn't to let you know if the food was organic or not. It was to hide the truth. Just like the Clean Water Act. It's always about whatever these acts and stuff are. Usually whatever the government says they're doing, it's the exact opposite. Always is. So the Missouri River continues to remain high throughout the summer. And I'd say this will go on the Mississippi and all them too. FEMA reassesses Callaway County for assistance. Yeah, some of these I just didn't get to get into. All right, let's go ahead. We're here at the maps, man. That was kind of a long thing there on the all the headlines. All right, here we are. We're looking at the total amount of precipitation for the next 16 days. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger so we can see it a little better. Let me check everything. Stream looks like it's sucking, like always. All right, so here we go. Looks like they're going to be targeting southern Missouri, Arkansas, and then right through the Tennessee, Ohio valleys, or Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, up into Pennsylvania. That'll be the target zones. They're going to dry California out. They already got the fires started in Oregon. You know, they gave us fair warning a while back. They said that this was going to be a super high fire risk, even though they got rain. Looks like we might get a little relief there in Canada and just the northern part of Alaska. So all right, let's get this on the regular stuff here so we can go through this. Yeah, GMOs will definitely mess a body up. I think it's affecting our DNA and just a lot of other things. So we got a little I forgot to look. Let me just check this real quick before we get into the 16-day forecast. Yeah, there is so much cropland ruin. I mean, it's ridiculous how much is messed up. I can show you just on, while we're waiting on that to load, I showed last night. We can go right down here on the Missouri River. And we have this huge dead zone from the, you can see my mouse. This is the Missouri River. Now this is Highway 29. I mean, this is a long ways from the river, man. We're talking miles and miles. That's a dead zone. If I go back 1 year, if the sky is clear enough here, we'll let that load. This is all farmlands. I mean, just acres and acres of farmland. So that one is not clear enough. Let me go back a day, because I think yesterday it was clear right here. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah, look at this. Look, you can't even see a dead zone. There wasn't no dead zone in 2018. So let me bring this up back to 2019. Look at this. It's all green. It's green everywhere, all the way down. We turn this back up to 2019. And then you're going to see the dead zone. Let's go up the other day to today. Look at that. That's all washed away farmlands. Millions and millions of acres. And it goes way up. It goes way down all the way through Missouri. Look, you can see all the dead. Dead. The floodwaters have destroyed tons of trees. We got bombarded again here in Missouri. They were hitting us hard. Trying to get ready. Hey, thanks, sir. Plays in the dirt. Much love out there. All right, where'd our 16-day forecast? Oh, I was waiting on that to load. All right, let me just kind of go through here, make sure we don't have no cyclones or hurricanes here coming up out of nowhere. All right, that's not loading. Let me get that shut down. So, okay, that's not okay. We only have one tab actually working. So, yeah, we're gonna get to David Miles on the show, man. He agreed. He said he'd come on. So I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him about, worst case scenario. Let's say we were getting ready to get, just complete weather warfare against us. I'm talking major weather wars. Could he stop it? Could he come to the light side and stop it? I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so you do got a little tropical system down there. It looks like Hawaii is going to be getting some rain. Oh, man, I didn't even get into all the volcanoes that are going off. Mount Etna, I think, went off. We got lava flowing over in Hawaii. So yeah, we got a little hurricane down there. Looks like it may skirt to the south of Hawaii. But I'm just trying to see if there's any development. Then we're going to jump into the actual 16-day forecast. Hopefully, if this thing will load. Here, I'll just skip a few here. Hey, thanks out there, Babu. Yeah, the USDA, man. I'm still working on that video. They are part of the weather control. They are the ones that are cloud seeding the sky. They're totally involved. I mean, I didn't even know that till the other day. All right, well, this is not loading for me, man. What is going on? This should be really easy to load. Yeah, I think the whatever that one volcano that went off. Man, my mind's about half blank right now. But I think it is refilling. But there is magma. I got it over posted on the Facebook page. Wow, this thing just is not loading for us, guys. All right, I'm not seeing too much development. Let me just get back to the United States, and then hopefully it will run better. All right, so we're just going to take it all back. Now, I had the right map up. I was looking at the tropics. I wanted to see if there's any kind of hurricanes or any kind of development down there that we needed to watch. All right, so here we are. We're going to jump into the 16-day forecast. You're going to be able to see where the rain is. We're going to go up 6 hours at a time. We're going to check the GFS model. We're going to check the Canadian model. We're going to go in between it. And then we're going to factor in all the weather modification. Right now, I can tell you right now, we've been getting sprayed from South Dakota all the way down through Missouri the last 2 days. That's why there's rain. There's probably going to be rain developing. We'll see. Oh, I'm not even on the right day here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, they're spraying heavy over Missouri, Iowa, down in Florida. So let's go up 6 hours at a time. Wisconsin, you're going to have showers in the next 12 hours. Iowa, Missouri. This is what all the cloud seeding has been doing for the last 2 days. They've been seeding the environment, getting this rain flow to come through. The main target area, southern Missouri, northern Arkansas. That's where everybody goes canoeing. They're targeting that area in this 2-week forecast. Looks like you got some big time rain going up in Canada. So this is a big swath of land, man. We're talking from the coast all the way way up into Canada. So they must be steering the atmospheric river back up in here. We'll take a look at that later in the show. Rain here on Tuesday. So we got the rain just going to be tracking along pretty slow. This is not going to be a wind event, just mainly rain. Maybe a little bit of severe weather here on Tuesday, July 30th. Wow, this thing keeps jumping around. What is going on? It just jumped up like... Wow, that was weird. All right, so we're here on Wednesday, July 31st. Still on Wednesday, you're going to have some severe weather up in North Dakota. Arizona, you're going to be getting some rain. You need some rain. It's coming. It should be monsoons down here right now. So hopefully they get a little bit of rain. Storm's just going to track right off onto the northeast. We got new development here on July 31st. This is still Wednesday. All this is going on Wednesday. It's like the rain backed up for a little bit. Here we are on Thursday, August 1st. Still a little bit of rain up through Utah, Arizona, East Coast. You're going to get some sporadic, real light rain. Nothing to write home about. Florida, that's some little bit heavier rain there through the Tennessee Valley. And here's that target zone again. They're going to keep on hitting this certain zone right here. And then going into April 2nd, going to have a little bit more pop-up heavier rain over in the Carolinas, Alabama, Georgia. Still nothing too major. A little bit of severe baby there for North Carolina on August 2nd. Here's that target zone. We're going to see rain here probably almost every day. Could be some severe weather there in South Dakota. Nebraska, I mean there. That was Nebraska. So look, they're going to keep targeting the same area. Here's Friday, August 2nd. We're going to go on up into the 3rd. A little bit of severe rain events here, maybe some hail. Now we're going to start getting a little bit of a wind event coming in here on August 3rd. Little rain up there for Washington. Maybe that'll help the fires that will probably already be started by then. We'll see. More rain for the southeast on April 3rd. So none of this is really looking too severe. There's not a lot of wind. Here we are with that target zone, man. They're targeting right there. Let's go on up into the 4th. Here we go. Rain. They're going to rain right down the Missouri River. It's like they don't want the flooding to end. Back that up a little bit. Chance of severe weather there for Florida. I'm sure the mainstream are going to say this is going to be some kind of cyclone event or something. I'm just kind of watch this. Don't look like it's going to amount to a whole lot. So let's go on into the 5th. So here we are on the 5th. Now we're going to start getting a little bit of a change because we got some rotation. So this could be a severe weather outbreak for New Mexico, Colorado, up into South Dakota, Nebraska. Rain still falling through the Midwest, right down the Missouri River, right down the Mississippi River. East Coast still getting rain on August 5th. And here we go with some more severe weather, heavy rain, flooding rain on the 5th. So yeah, man, this is going to be a pretty good storm. We got a little bit of wind here. So, you know, we had rotation there when this thing first popped off. So we'll just have to see. We're going to have to watch this little low pressure over here off the East Coast. This is on the 5th still, man. Still on the 5th. So it looks like that storm's going to be moving, you know, pretty fast. So here's a little bit more winds coming in on the 6th. So we're on the 6th now. We're just going to take this on up. So we got a couple more spots here. Texas, New Mexico, right on up through Colorado, Wyoming. Then it goes right into South Dakota. South Dakota's been a big target this year. So more rain for the upper part of the Mississippi or the Missouri River. And then the Bahamas, you need to look out here on Wednesday, August 7th. That looks pretty wicked there, going to the Bahamas. Here we are on the 7th. Same thing, Nebraska, you're the target. And here it comes crashing down right into the target zone. They're targeting southern Missouri and Arkansas this whole next 2 weeks. They're not done with the flooding. They're not done ruining the breadbasket. Here we are on August 8th, still raining. August 8th, heavy over Arkansas on the 8th. I'm not seeing a lot of wind with this stuff, so that's a good thing. Should not have no tornadoes. Maybe up in here where you get a little bit of the cooler air, but here's a little bit of a wind factor, a little bit of severe storms popping off here. I still don't think that's going to be tornadic on the 9th. What areas? The same areas. Here we go. Oklahoma's get a little bit of heavy rain here on the 9th. Super heavy rain for August 10th, going over Iowa, Wisconsin, into Illinois, and then right up into Detroit. So these are going to be real heavy, skinny bands. These would probably be the trails. If you get sprayed in them areas, that's where the heavy rain is going to be. So here we are on the 10th. Same areas, man. They're hitting the same areas over and over and over again. This looks like a pretty big outbreak here in Kansas on the 11th. See, they're trying to hit the same damn area every time. Look at that. It's going to be right in the target zone. So to me, it looks like South Dakota, North Nebraska, southern Missouri, and Arkansas is the main targets of all these rains. That was going to go right down I-70, right down the Missouri River. That's some pretty torrential rain right there. We're looking at like 10 inches of rain almost. So we'll see how this plays out. We're going to go ahead and go up into the 12th, 13th, little pop-up stuff down there south. Going up into the 13th. Whoa, what do we got way up here in Canada? What's the blue? So whatever this storm is up in Canada on the 13th and 14th. That is like a land cyclone. That could be snow up in that thing. That could be a snow event, and it's a wind event. So that's pretty crazy. All right, let's just check the, we're going to fly through the Canadian model. Thanks out there, Robert. Just going to fly through this, if it'll let us fly through it. Yeah, these are all targeted storms for sure. Hey, thanks there, Rage against Rusty Cage. Much love out there. Yeah, this thing just sitting loading real good, so I don't even think we need to use the Canadian model. I do like to look at it because it's a little bit better on any kind of hurricane stuff. Let me go ahead and get out of that. Let's go ahead and check. We'll just check the worldview real quick here. I didn't add on the bunker fuel layer. Let me go ahead and add that real quick. See if we can get this to go. Hey, Wisdom, much love out there. Yeah, I've seen all that news on the psychopaths running loose. It's going on everywhere, man. So we got all the fire smoke coming in from Australia, from Russia. We got all the fires going on in Alaska, in Canada, in Oregon. You got volcanoes going off all over. Why are they still spraying the skies? They're going to create such a catastrophic weather that, you know, they want to make everybody believe in this climate change and stuff. And they're going to keep on pushing it until people say no more. But hopefully we can stop it before they get too crazy. I mean, they already are. They've already ruined tons of farmlands worldwide. So we can see all the fires up here in Canada. It's kind of cloudy up here in Alaska, but it's burning. And they have aerosols being deployed all over the place. You see the aerosols, you'll see fires. It's the accelerant. So here's our, the smoke here is going right down into California. Wow, it's got the same signature as the Paradise Fires. 2 fires burning up the ridge. This one's not as explosive as that one, but aerosols being deployed over Arizona. Aerosols being deployed in the Gulf of Mexico. Here they are. They're setting up. They're getting ready to steer the atmospheric river up. Like I said, they've been spraying here in Missouri for the last 2 days. It's not. It doesn't show up real good on the worldview map, but man, it shows up good on the goes. We have tons of aerosols being deployed over the Gray Lakes. Look at this aerosol deployment. Big time spraying right there off Chicago. Could be some kind of test, some kind of vaccines being, we don't know what they're spraying on us, guys. They can call it water vapor all they want. I know down in Down in Australia, they forcibly vaccinated them through the planes, through the chemtrails. Yeah, we'll check the atmospheric river here in a second. Can't believe this isn't loading. Here we go with the super buffering. Well, the Q followers are being deceived by a couple of them channels out there. Complete nonsense, complete lies, false hope, false messiahs. You know, it's pretty bad that, you know, that you should be able to tell right off the bat that's a government paid program. That guy's videos are so, like, one guy couldn't make them kind of videos that quick. I mean, it's just too much involved. There's not enough time in a day to do that. That is a whole fleet of people working on them, their productions to fool the people. Yeah, they're all these presidents, man, they're actors. You know, Trump said he was a Democrat a long time ago, but now he's a Republican. Look at all the Simpsons, you know, pre-showing him being president. They show him in a casket, so you can pretty much, if he makes it to the 2020 elections, they're going to probably take him out. Look at these fires up in Russia, man. They're complete. The whole place is on fire. So I was trying to see if they're still spraying up here, down here in Australia. Fires are still going. I can see them. So if you're seeing aerosols, man, you know it's either going to rain or they're using rain retardant. It can go either way. Politics are all a farce, man. It's just a soap opera. I hate politics. Yeah, I mean they want you to like Trump, man. If most common people with common sense like Trump, but they just don't know what's really going on. I mean, wow, I can't get New Zealand to load. Yeah, that's all politics are for, is division. You know, and like a lot of the people, like Trump, he says what he mean. You know, he usually, if he was going to say he was going to stop chemtrails, he would come out and say it. He wouldn't send some guy some special code. Come on. That's just complete nonsense. Yeah, they give you just a little bit to keep you going. I mean, they got to play both sides, man. They got to. You'd never make it in politics if you don't play both sides. There's no way normal people could be politicians. I mean, they need to all be took out of office, like every single one of them. Like, how does I don't even want to get into politics on here anyway. I'll get all irate. I'll probably start cussing. Yeah, so huge aerosol deployment over right where the flood zones are going to be. Not really flood zones yet, but where all the rain's coming in. Let me zoom in on that. That is a pretty big seeding operation. Yeah, it's hard to test the air, but they see the DMI and NASA are testing the air. They already know what they're letting out. I show that clip all the time of them. They fly a plane right into the chemtrails. I mean, look at this spraying operation over Missouri today. It was sickening. You know, they sprayed us yesterday with the migraine giving chemtrails, and then today we got it again. Today was just like the regular chemtrail mix. Look at that big X there in Oklahoma. But every bit of this is chemtrails. I watched it, I filmed it, didn't upload it, but this is all aerosols deployed. This is the target zone for the next flooding over the next 2 weeks. And look at that. They're completely targeting it already. So every day they're probably going to spray these same areas to pull the moisture right in here. That's right where the heavy rain for the next 2 weeks are going to end up. We need to check the mimic map real quick here. Yep, same here. The headaches, man, they mess with the back of your neck. They go up. I've had them last 4 days. And they're migraines, man. Now we got Tropical Storm Eric, Tropical Depression 7, Invest 95. But what I want to look at, none of them are going to affect. I don't even think that one's going to affect why. I mean, I'll look into that a little more as the week goes. But yeah, them headaches are intense. They're like a sinus. I don't know, man. They mess with your sinuses big time. But the ones that come up through the back of your neck, super migraines. Yeah, so they still have the atmospheric river coming right up through the Gulf of Mexico. And that's where the target will be. The atmospheric river is not straightening out at all. It still does not look normal at all. All right, so I got that documented pretty good. So it looks like all this is going to pretty much stay south of Hawaii. They are going to get a little rain, but all right, we're probably done with that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. I'm going to try to get that other video finished. Try to get it finished. I'm trying to get it cut down as much as I can. There's so much vital information on this video that I need to edit. I'm about halfway through, but it is it's proof that they're talking about all the cloud seeding operations that they're doing over Texas and other places. It was the Weather Modification Advisory Committee that they had on June 6th. We got just a few minutes here. Let me pull this over here. I mean, they're saying all kinds of crazy stuff on here. They're using electromagnetic rain. But they talk about all the seeding operations they did. They even talked about the seeding that they did, even though the storm was already a severe thunderstorm, they got the okay to keep on spraying it. Yeah, they're using the aerial electrostatic spray application system. And they were talking about when you have fog on the ground, you can actually honk your horn and then it'll make the crystals glow using these sound waves. I mean, this video is pretty crazy. Yeah, so they're using cloud seeding, using electrically charged water droplets, operational implementations. I mean, they're just doing tons and tons of stuff. So hopefully I'll get this edited out. And just the pure, how much they've seeded is crazy, man. Here, I'll play just the first part of this. We'll just play a few minutes of this and see what I got here.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm George Bomar, Weather Modification Program Specialist in the Office of Innovation and Project Management. Since our last meeting in November, we have had completed the radar-derived assessment of cloud seeding operations done in Texas during 2018. That study is done on an annual basis by Dr. Ruiz out of Texas Tech University. That report just arrived, so it's not loaded on your desktop computer, but I did make a paper copy for you, and I'd like to just point out a number of features of that annual evaluation report. 5 of the cloud seeding projects that are conducted for rain enhancement purposes, 4 of those are included in this assessment. The projects based in White Deer, San Angelo.
So only 5 of the 300 or 400 cloud seeding projects they did. If that was for rain enhancement, what was the other cloud seeding operations for? Think about that one. Anyway, we'll get into this. Hopefully I'll get this damn thing done. It takes a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time, but yeah, it's full information on the cloud seeding operations that are going on. Undeniable. I mean, you have a weather modification committee. So for all the trolls that say it's not going on, it's 100% going on. Anyway, guys, much love. We'll see you tomorrow night. Be safe out there. Armor up. God bless. Make sure you subscribe to the backup channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Twitch, to the D Live, all that stuff. Because the way they're coming after us here on YouTube, it's only a matter of time before we won't be here. So make sure we have the backups going. Anyway, guys, much love. Let's go hit the song Rise. It's time to rise. Anyway, here we go, guys. Much love. Be safe out there.